All right, folks. How it started versus how it's going. That's right, folks. The March for Medicare for All has a new iteration in the saga. So, a couple days ago, they invited this person on, Craig Pasta. And yesterday, turns out Craig Pasta is not in favor of vaccines. Whoa, who would have seen that coming? Unfortunately, I will no longer be attending/speaking at the M4A March. The local organizers, after asking me if I was vaccinated, how dare they, demanded I wear a mask and take a COVID test. I refused. I will not be told when and what to do with my body. I support Medicare for all, not medical tyranny for all. What? How it started, folks. And literally, it was less than a day. So, again, now both of these people, Fiorella Isabel, also, these are the Convo Couch podcasters. Now, Fiorella Isabel has had a couple of, very bizarre statements when it comes to vaccines. I don't care what ideology we ascribe to, forcing experimental vaccines on people is fascistic. Saying, hey, you should take a vaccine to end this pandemic, that's fascism in the eyes of Fiorella Isabel. Our numbers are low and they admit it. 2, we will never get rid of this virus because it mutates. We need to build immunity. No vaccine can help with every single virus type. What? What is this? This is bizarre stuff. It's not fear-mongering to tell the truth. There's a reason these vaccines are called experimental by the NHS and CDC. The side effects have been suppressed by the media. If they were truly about helping people, you wouldn't have found so many lies around the issue. What are they talking about? What I was doing is going after people calling others anti-vaxxers for sharing their symptoms of said vaccines, which are real. You can't deny their experience. Oh, and for the record, I call it experimental because your beloved state agencies that you also trust dearly, like the CDC and NIH, also do. So, what? And first of all, it was her reasoning for calling it experimental is a post from January? Before they were actually approved for public use. So it's bizarre. This stuff is bizarre. And again, this person also doesn't even support Medicare for all because we've got some other interesting tweets. Now let's look at this. Demanding people either disclose their personal vaccination status or take a COVID test with less than 24 hours of time approved is gross. It's gross. No one else is taking those extreme measures. It is tyrannical because of the way he was talked to, which you don't know about. Tyrannical. What? Again, this is standard practice. You take a COVID test, you put a mask on. This has been how we've been living for a year. Just because the vaccine is publicly available does not mean we're not in a pandemic anymore. So if you are dumb enough not to take the vaccine, which again, you have to be dumb, but if you are dumb enough not to take the vaccine, how come you think that your world should go back to pre-pandemic? It shouldn't. You didn't take the vaccine. In order to end the pandemic, we all have to take the fucking vaccine, or at least, stay at home and stop going to fucking events so that we stop spreading the goddamn virus. The rules don't change because other people take the vaccine. This is how we've been living for a year and a half, up close on, we're getting to 2 years. I mean, we're getting there. I mean, I guess we're a year and a half, I guess. But still, the idea that they think they can not take a vaccine and then enjoy the luxuries of post-pandemic life, I'm sorry. You don't get to do that. Right? I stayed in my fucking house. I didn't leave my goddamn house for a year and a half. And then I took the vaccine and now I'm barely even going out. And these motherfuckers just want to go out to concerts, parties, and do all these big events and without it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And again, these people have a platform. They have a podcast where they talk about this stuff and they have people that believe it. And they claim to be left-wing. They claim this is a left-wing podcast in their own words. I respect Pasta's choice. I will still be speaking. The organizers are not all okay with this. I really respect many of them. It's 1 or 2 people. The way this was done to Pasta was unacceptable. What on earth? Again, it is a Medicare for all march. Nice CIA talking pits from a useful idiot working for the establishment. You smear with no evidence. Mandatory vaccines are authoritarian. No one said mandatory. They asked, hey, are you vaccinated? If not, can you wear a mask? That's not That's not like, if you come to the event, we will inject you with the vaccine. If you want to march for Medicare for all, you must be injected with this experimental dosage. No. They said, hey, are you vaccinated? Oh, sorry, I can't answer that. Oh, then can you wear a mask? That's tyrannical. What? That's authoritarian. That's mandatory vaccines. Like, I just like, what the hell? I support people's choice to get them or not. I've gotten every vaccine, but questioning how they and COVID have been handled is not a conspiracy. I love how they downplay it, right? Like, we're just questioning how it's been handled. What? I just don't understand. It's bizarre. These motherfuckers are bizarre. And there's another tweet that I wanted to show. That shows that these motherfuckers, they don't actually support Medicare for all. Like, they don't. Like, here's a good post from Fiorella Isabel. Medicare for all centralizes healthcare, and I'm against giving the government more power. Of course I'm against it. I'm so for a complete overhaul of our healthcare system, but I'm not just going to accept Bernie Sanders' Trojan horse like some reactionary sheep. Fiorella Isabel responds, agree. I'm against for doing that. What? So someone's going to march for Medicare for all, but they're against Medicare for all? Huh? Also, my issue is people are dying or in debt without meds. If the system we're in, I'd rather folks have insulin than not. At least giving states and maybe cities more than the federal government. For me, mutual aid has come from smaller coalitions. It's tough. Now, I agree about mutual aid. It is very important that we take care of our neighbors to the best of our ability. But again, she says, agree, I'm against doing that. What is she against doing? We read, oh, that's Medicare for all. So she is not even in favor of Medicare for all, and yes, she's going to be speaking at a Medicare for all march? It's fascinating. It's fascinating. And again, I mean, this whole thing is just a podcast convention. I mean, that's really what it is. It's a convention for people to platform themselves, meet contacts, get a higher audience for their podcast, and then they're going to cover it on their podcast. It's content for their podcast, and it's a convention for their podcast. So they've been talking about it for weeks. The March for Medicare for All, the March. We're doing a march. And then they're going to go to the speaker. They're going to go speak at the event. They're going to get people to, that weren't previously following their podcast to follow them. And then they're going to be talking about the march. Oh, look at the march we did. We did a march. Look how we did a march. I guarantee you, for the next fucking infinite amount of time, they're going to be spending, when they boost their ego and their credibility and their credentials, they're going to be talking about, oh, we did the March for Medicare for All. And then now, again, passerbys that don't know all of this fucking nitty-gritty drama stupid shit, they're going to say, oh, a March for Medicare for All. Sounds good, Jack. I respect that. When they don't know that these events are fucking bringing people that don't even support Medicare for All in them. Anti-vaxxers, right-wing conspiracy nuts. It's bizarre. And so I just think it's hilarious. And again, that's why I'm making this video here. So here's an amendment here. This is really funny. So, Fiorella Isabel, I respect Pasta's choice. I will still be speaking. The organizers are not all okay with this. I really respect many of them. It's one or two people. The way this was done to Pasta was unacceptable. Then Chris Richards on Twitter responds, it was exactly the right thing to do. I support the march, but your involvement only hurts it. You should drop too. Now, for those of you that don't know Chris Richards, this guy is a hardcore Force the Vote Jimmy Dum Dum Door fan. This guy has been harassing me for months and months and months because I don't like Jimmy Dore. This guy is absolutely taken the Kool-Aid, and he's taken all kinds of flavors. But even he can recognize that having anti-vaxxers who don't support Medicare for All at a Medicare for All march is a bad idea, right? And so Fiorella responds, nah, you don't support the march. You have stipulations. Would rather whine about people you don't like. You're supporting it for progressive cred. Sorry to disappoint you. Not only am I not dropping out, my voice will get louder and louder with the truth. Stay mad. The fucking truth, folks. The fucking truth. The truth will set us free. I wonder how this is gonna go.